Most executives estimate turnover at around 15,000 per frontline employee and substantially more for upper-level management. But what they don't realize is this. Leadership misalignment is costing them 10 times more in ways that will never show up on the P&L. But the financial damage is real and it's happening right now in your organization. I'm Michael Saletta, and after 3 decades of fixing this exact problem for thousands of leadership teams, I've identified 7 critical alignment layers where these silent costs occur. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what these hidden expenses are, how to diagnose which layers are broken inside your own leadership team, and the framework that stops the bleeding immediately. Here's what's at stake. While your leadership team operates with conflicting priorities, your competitors are quietly capturing the opportunities you're missing. Let me share an example of how devastating misalignment really is. Last year, I sat across from a CEO who proudly shared his Q4 report. Revenues were up, the culture appeared to be on track, but as he talked, something didn't add up. His 3 executives were all working on the same initiative, but pursuing 3 completely different priorities. So when I pulled back the curtain and dug into the actual workflow, the problem came into focus fast. They had scheduled 47 meetings in 1 month on the same strategic project. Why? Because no one knew who owned the decision. Every department kept calling alignment meetings just to figure out next steps. Here's where the numbers become alarming. The CEO thought they were just experiencing normal friction, but when we ran the actual financials, here's what we uncovered. Extended project timeline. 11 extra months of delay, substantially increasing actual labor and vendor hours. Recruiting and replacement cost. 3 senior directors left due to unclear leadership direction. Lost market opportunity. Competitors launched first during the delay, costing the company projected revenue. There were millions in avoidable losses. And to the leadership team, it felt like a few miscommunications. This is what I call the alignment tax. And here's the part that should genuinely concern every executive watching this. Customers noticed the misalignment too. Sales calls took longer because messaging wasn't consistent. Their biggest partnership deal actually fell through because different leaders gave different answers. They could tell they weren't on the same page. Confidence in the company began to erode from the outside in. Leadership alignment is like the foundation of a skyscraper. You can't see it, you don't think about it, but if it's cracked, every floor above becomes unstable. First, the cracks are subtle, but by the time performance problems appear at the surface, the structural damage has been forming for years. Companies that ignore these cracks don't just plateau, they collapse slowly and then suddenly. Meanwhile, competitors with solid foundations dominate. So here's the question that should keep you up at night. If someone audited your leadership team's alignment tomorrow, what would they find? Would everyone truly be on the same page? Could your top executives all clearly explain your growth strategy, your goals, and your priorities? Well, if your answer speaks to misalignment, here's what to do. While most executives attack the symptoms at the top of the organizational chart, maybe restructuring, reorganizing, replacing people, when the real problem is buried in the foundation that they've never examined. And that's why I developed and teach the PALM, the Performance-Aligned Leadership Model, built from 30 years of watching organizations break in the same predictable way. The PALM is a powerful model that also uses a metaphor to illustrate misalignment. Think of this metaphor. If each executive or department in the organization are all going in their own directions, there are things falling through the cracks because they're not on the same page. We need to close those gaps. We need to create a common vision, common focus, where there is cohesiveness, communication, and collaboration. Everyone moving in a forward direction, hence the PALM. There are 7 critical layers of the PALM, and if the bottom 3 aren't solid, nothing above them matters. Let's start with the very foundation. Layer 1, trust. Trust actions, that is. Every time someone on your leadership team keeps a promise, follows through, admits a mistake, speaks honestly, trust gets stronger. Every time someone avoids a hard conversation, hides a problem, fails to follow through, trust erodes. Trust is not just emotional, trust is operational. It controls the bandwidth of your organization, how quickly information moves, and how confidently people communicate. When trust is strong, issues surface early, decisions move fast, collaboration deepens, leaders stop posturing and start solving. When trust is weak, people become careful, risks get buried, problems show up only when they're urgent, execution slows to a crawl. If you're seeing the symptoms of weak trust, Here's 3 fast ways to rebuild it. Number 1, make commitments visible. Having every leader publicly list their top priorities for the next 30 days. Visibility forces follow through, and follow through rebuilds trust. Add an honesty question to every meeting. Ask, is anyone seeing this differently? This normalizes truth telling early and prevents small cracks from turning into structural failures. And number 3, model accountability at the top. Executives share one mistake of improvement area each week. When leaders own their own missteps, teams feel safe doing the same. Trust shapes behavior. Behavior shapes results. That's why trust actions form the foundation of the entire model. Second layer, layer 2, communication and collaboration. Once trust is in place, something predictable happens. People stop being careful and start being honest. That shift is the gateway to real communication. Most organizations think they collaborate. What they actually do is swap updates. Small talk is not collaboration. Status updates are not collaboration. Meetings where no one challenges an idea are not collaboration. Real collaboration sounds like, let's solve this together right now. I disagree, and here's why. Walk me through your reasoning. What problems are we actually wanting to solve? When this layer is strong, decisions are made in the room. Meetings get shorter. Cross-departmental misunderstandings start to disappear. Alignment becomes active and not assumed. When this layer is weak, leaders withhold what they're really thinking. The difficult and uncomfortable questions are not asked. Teams talk about each other instead of to each other and with each other. Departments interpret the same strategy in totally different ways, and confusion travels faster than clarity. Here's how to fix it. Turn update meetings into decision meetings. Define what decision are we making and who owns it. This eliminates those filler meetings and accelerates execution. Number 2, use clarifying questions before reacting. Ask, what problem are we actually solving? This prevents misalignment at the root. Create one shared leadership priority list, reviewed weekly. One source of truth equals one direction. Communication controls speed, collaboration controls direction. When both are strong, your leadership team functions as one unit, not 7 separate departments. Layer 3 is roles and responsibilities. If trust shapes behavior and communication shapes how people work together, then roles and responsibilities shape what they work on in the first place. This is where most leadership teams quietly fall apart. They assume clarity exists because everyone has a title, but titles tell you nothing about what someone actually owns. The roles and responsibility layer also includes systems and processes. The processes may exist, yet if they're not being consistently executed, there's a problem. It's like 2 people grabbing the same steering wheel. The car isn't broken, it's just being pulled in 2 different directions. That's what a weak third layer looks like. Now that you've seen the first 3 layers of the PALM, trust, communication and collaboration, and roles and responsibilities, here's what I want you to take away. Misalignment isn't a people problem, it's a leadership system problem. And the cost of ignoring it compounds every single day. Most companies don't fall because of the big decisions. They fall because of the small cracks in the foundation that no one sees until it's too late. But when you build these 3 foundational layers the right way, something powerful happens. Your leaders move faster, your teams execute cleaner, your culture becomes impossible to compete against. This is how elite organizations operate, and it's how yours can too. In the next videos, I'm going to walk you through the remaining layers of the PALM model, show you exactly how to diagnose misalignment in your organization before it shows up in lost revenue, lost talent, or lost customers. So if this resonated with you, if you're a CEO, an executive, or a leader who knows your organization is capable of more, please hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and stay with me, because the companies who win aren't the ones with the biggest budgets or even the best products. They're the ones with the strongest leadership alignment and the courage to fix what's really holding them back. I'm Michael Saletta. This is where leadership teams come to transform culture, sharpen performance, and lead with clarity. I'll see you on the next video.